Hey guys, welcome back to Working Aussies Homestead. I'm Jordan, and today we are filming our garden tour for the month. We are halfway through May, almost. So I thought I would give a nice update, show you what's going on and growing on the homestead. Let's get started. We are starting over in the propagation station. Little funny joke. Anywho, this is where Josh has all of his propagation projects going on in the garden. It's a little overgrown in here, but we've got lots of fun things growing in here, including, look at all the growth on this beautiful Meyer lemon tree. It's also got a few blooms on it, so we're hopeful for some fruit this year. We have some blackberries growing here on the ledge. These are cuttings from our own blackberry bush, which I'll show you guys. But we have a few other fun things going on here. We've got a grapefruit, we have some limes in here, we have some cassava that we were gifted, and we have a few more blueberry cuttings going on. Now I do want to show you guys something that Josh is very excited about. He was struggling with them last year, but this year's a different story. They are something hat tomatoes. I'll put the actual name of them down in the description below. They look a little hot and dried out, but these are super small tomato plants that only get to be about 6 inches tall. So they are already flowering and starting on that fruit producing journey. We also have a few other cuttings in here. There's some dogwood trees, there's a couple apples in here. And we do also have, super exciting thing, olives. So we have 2 olive plants that we will eventually be putting in the herb garden over by the barn. But for now, they're just hanging out. And then we have our vining varieties in the boxes, and they are starting to really take off now that they're a little bit more settled in the containers. Our problem that we do have with it is they dry out so fast. I think part of it is because they are up, but another thing is because the pots themselves are black. So they have been cracking the dirt and it stays pretty dry in here. So we do need to figure that out. But look at this crazy little thing. It is already fruiting. And I believe these are pumpkins that we actually saved that were started by our pigs over by the barn. So I think these are the 2 pumpkins that I saved from over there. So those are growing in here. Sup, Rogue? Hi, Roger. Hi. Hi, BB. Hi, pups. I know. All right, let's keep moving on. Not sure if we've got anything going on in the greenhouse. Nope, it has been very hot. In fact, earlier this week, it was already 90 degrees here in Dunn, North Carolina, which is ridiculously hot for beginning of May, but it is what it is. We are looking to get a very hot and dry summer again, but c'est la vie. That's why we started the garden a little bit sooner this year, so hopefully we could take advantage of some cooler weather crops before it got too hot. But I'm excited to say Josh has some rows of corn planted here. So he's got, I believe, 3 rows, and then they are 3 wide, I guess. A fun experiment that I think I talked about last time that he had just planted is he did put some seed lettuce here in the rows in between the corn, so that hopefully as the corn grows, the lettuce can grow and be shaded by the corn. And then he's also got some beans planted over here in between the corn, so that the beans will grow up the corn stalks and put nitrogen back in the soil as the corn takes it out. So we've got those fun companion planting going on. If you're new to companion planting, that's a great option, is planting those pole beans in between your corn. We've got some sad looking lettuces over here, and let's see, we've got some peppers that are growing, and then we've got lots of grass and weeds growing in this section. So this is my project that I'll start on probably later this year. We will mulch it and put in some type of perennial cottage garden. So I'm really excited to get that going. Obviously, we need to get this situation taken care of. We do still have four beds that need to be made, but this bed has been made in preparation. And then this bed was started, I believe these are zucchinis. And then we have our cucumbers. I have to show you this. This crazy guy, which get these little beetles off of here. Look at this. This cucumber is already producing fruit, and it's maybe a foot tall. However, you will see we've got some early pests on here. These are little beetles. Let's see if I can get a clear picture. So they are yellow and black striped beetles, and these love to attack cucumbers. And sometimes they have little spots there. But these are our early crops, so we kind of expect the pest pressure to be a little bit higher with them. But again, look at these guys. They are starting to grow strong. Obviously, they got a little bit of pest pressure early on, but the new growth is looking really good and healthy if we can keep these blasted beetles away from them. But we've got a few more planted. The tomatoes are looking great. The thing is, with the tomatoes growing this early, you do want to think about if you want them to start producing fruit while they're this little. So while these guys are this little, I'm gonna go ahead and pick off the flowers. That way they can focus on growing up taller before focusing on growing fruit, which we need to come in here and really work on this because they are all starting to flower and they're only about 2 feet tall. So we want them to grow a little bit higher. But again, I'm seeing these beetles on our tomato plants as well. So just got to keep an eye on them. That is the deal with organic gardening, is you're going to have more pest pressure. You're going to have more weed pressure. Obviously, this grass is starting to grow back in here, but that's the way it goes. If the bugs don't want it, I don't want it. So moving on, next to me is our hedgerow. I went ahead and transplanted. We have 2 elderberry bushes. I put one on this end, one on the other end over here. It's zoomy time, apparently. Run, run, run! Get it, Ray! Oop, the boy's got her pinned against the fence. All right, I will say, not an actual dog fight for those of you listening. We have a couple who are very vocal when they play, and that was a perfect example. All right, back to the garden. We have some flowers growing over here. We have some more squash plants that will need to be transplanted soon, but they were really big and we didn't have the bed quite ready when we had them. Super excited. The peanuts are coming up. The peanuts and the beans in between are popping corn. I'm so excited about this row. I love popcorn, so I can't wait to enjoy some. All right, this row got finished planting. So we have more zucchini, and then we have the few squash plants here at the beginning. So we've got 3 different variety of squash. And then we have our okra right beside it on either side, just 6 little okra plants. But there's our beautiful zucchinis that just got transplanted, so they look a little bit shocked, but it's completely normal for zucchini. And then next is our row of sunflowers, which if you watched our last gardening tour video, they were only about that big. So they are about 8 to 10 inches now, which is so exciting. They're looking nice and full in this beautiful row. And then we have our Brussels sprouts, our 10 Brussels sprouts. And then in the rest of the row, it had just gotten planted last time, but we have some more radishes coming up. They didn't come up full germination, which is okay. That happens sometimes. But right now, they're not super big. They're in here kind of thick, but they're about that size right now. So still very little. Just gonna stick that back in the ground, let it keep on growing. So we've got that. We have our row of broccoli next. They're looking good. We do have some cabbage moths that are coming out, but I was so excited. Earlier today, we have some barn swallows that live across the street, actually in their barn. But I was so excited because I was sitting in here in the garden on the patio earlier, just watching the birds, and they came through and actually ate 3 of the cabbage moths that were flying around. So I'm so excited. That's the natural ecosystem. But I did go through and pull off some of the worms that were on our broccoli plants earlier today. Next is our succession of carrots. So we have a variety of different carrots. Josh also planted some rutabaga and some parsnips in this row. So I'm really excited to see how they do. And then our arugula is looking great. We have that little patch that went ahead and went to seed. That is just ready to be picked. We've already cut some off of here, and then this is the uncut part. But we've got the beautiful flowers so that we can save seeds. And our Swiss chard, our rainbow Swiss chard, is looking so good and beautiful. So we've got pink, red, yellow, and I believe there's some orange in here somewhere too. But they're just looking nice and full. Look at that. Oh, that would make such a good sauteed dish. And obviously we've got some nice grass growing in here too. But then we have our lacinato kale. So this is that yummy dinosaur kale. We've obviously harvested quite a bit from it already. And our curly kale is also looking so beautiful. And it's delicious. It's one of my favorites. So good. And the amazing thing about organic gardening, I can just pop this in my mouth. I don't have to worry about any chemicals on it. It's delicious. So, it's a little spicy for some reason, but it's really good. Next is our beautiful red Russian kale, another favorite of ours. And these leaves are looking so good, nice and big. Great for salads. And then our lettuce heads, look how massive they are. So these are all ready to harvest. So this weekend we will actually be selling some of these, and then we do have our few CSA boxes. The awesome thing about lettuce is you can cut it and it'll grow right on back. So both of these have obviously been harvested and they're just growing right back. This next row is for seed saving for our Napa cabbage. So we're leaving this row of flowering Napa cabbage so that we can save the seeds for next year. And then Josh has cleared out this row. We gave all of it to the pigs, but we left the roots in the ground. That way those nutrients could just be put back in. And he built some little boxes that just raise up just 6 inches. And we have some different herbs and flowers in them to kind of help bring in a few more pollinators and add a little bit of diversity in here. But we did transplant a lot of our peppers into this row. And then look at this, guys. This is so crazy. This is how tall our peas are. So we have our peas and we have carrots, and then we have our other peas, and we have beets and radishes. So beautiful here in the garden, and I still cannot wait. I think this month I'm gonna see about ordering the lights for in between the posts on the fence, because I'm ready to sit out here in the evening and have it just lit up and beautiful. I'm so excited for that. Before we go, I have a few more things to show you guys. So obviously when we were transplanting, a lettuce did not make it into the bed, and instead it's just here. But we have some more flowers and some more herbs going, some more zinnias over here. We have our blueberries in the ground. I stole some irises, so we have some there. And then I have more in a pot that I need to plant in the row. We also have these beautiful patio tomatoes that are starting to form up and ripen a little bit. And then we have the rest of our peppers that still need to be transplanted over here, but they're just getting a little bit bigger. But before I lose all of the light, we're gonna run over to the herb garden and check it out. So let's head over to the herb garden. But look at this beautiful garden. It's gorgeous. So gorgeous. And you hear Lionel. If you don't follow us on social media, we got a new goose, and his name is Lionel, and I love him. He's a Chinese goose, and he's big and beautiful. And I have him in here with our laying flock. I've obviously got my black sheep rotating out there. So some of you who watch our channel, you're probably like, what is that big pile of sticks and branches and whatnot? So this is where it's fun to be thoughtful about your wildlife. So having a pile on your homestead, kind of like a hedge brush or something like that, but a pile of sticks and brush and different things is a great habitat for pollinators. Obviously not your honeybees, but all of the other pollinators, some different wildlife, some birds. It's a great spot to have. It's a great thing to have on your homestead to just make sure that you're still being mindful of the natural surroundings. So that is our pile of sticks that will probably be there forever, but it's such a good place for natural wildlife to hang out. All right, so in here we have our blueberry. This is our pink lemonade blueberry bush. We don't have many on here, but we are really excited about the few that we're gonna get. And then there's some woody sorrel in here. So if you're unfamiliar, woody sorrel is a natural, a native, not natural. It's a native plant. And if you eat it, it tastes like lemon. So it's a great natural thing if you just want to add into drinks or add on to different meals and you want to add a little bit of lemon flavor. Woody sorrel's a great option. And then our comfrey is nice and big in here. They're looking beautiful. And then we have our blackberry bushes. So this one is growing again. Part of it died off. I'm not quite sure what happened, but it is growing again, thank goodness. And then this other blackberry bush has just continued to explode. Look at all of those berries. Oh my goodness, we're gonna be in blackberry heaven. I'm so excited. And it keeps flowering. Keeps flowering. All right, and then we did transplant this other blueberry bush. It's doing well. This is all new growth on it, so that's exciting to see. And then obviously the rosemary is happy. I'm not quite sure what's going on with my elderberry over here, but they have gotten taller. And I thought I saw some flower pods on it, but I don't now that I'm examining it closer. Need to come in here and weed. And then we have our onions, which they do look a little hot and sad, but we did get some rain last night. Maybe it's this one. Oh yeah, there we go. So there's some flowers coming in on this elderberry over here. So I'm not quite sure. I think I'll put some rabbit manure in here and water them really well. One of the projects that we're going to get to but have not gotten to yet is we are going to put some gutters on the back half of the barn here and then put a rain barrel or two right here and have some drip irrigation come in to this garden space, and then also have a hose hooked up to it so that I can water everything else in here. But we have not done that quite yet. But we need to kind of get our butts in gear because summer will be here before we know it. Like I said, it's already been in the 90s here. Super hot. Anywho, so that is what we've got going on with the garden, with the herb garden. and I'm excited to show you the progress of it as we go along this season. But until next time, we'll see you later.